And on to other stories. October 22, 2022 marks 17 years. The entire nation was plunged into mourning following the crash of Boeing 737-200 aircraft flight 210 operated by Bellevue Airlines in Lisi Town, Ifo local government area of Ogun State. 1 year after the crash, the federal and Ogun State governments jointly built a memorial arcade at the site of the crash to honor the memory of the victims. Our correspondent John Felix, who visited the memorial arcade, reports the monument lies in ruins and has turned to a national embarrassment following years of neglect by both the federal and Ogun State governments. We have details in this report.
The ill-fated flight killed all 117 passengers and crew on board. The tragic incident put Lisa, a once sleepy village, on the world map as people from both within and outside the country thronged the town to catch a glimpse of the crash site. In honor of the victims, an arcade was built which served as the graveyard for the remains of the victims with their names boldly inscribed on their tombstones. Aside from being a graveyard, the arcade became a tourist site for school children and others. The once beautiful scenery has now become an eyesore, bringing disrespect to the memories of the victims. A visit to the arcade gave no semblance of a national monument. Overtaken by overgrown weed, reptiles, the graveyard looked unkept with the dilapidated buildings begging for urgent attention. Speaking to Galaxy TV News, some residents could not hide their disappointment about the current state of the memorial site.
For a very long time, the very site you are watching here actually happened. That was in 2005, precisely. And then it motivated a lot of us to come and locate our residence and even business here. But unfortunately, it has been abandoned by the carelessness and recklessness of the government. It has been abandoned to a very large extent. You can see the site. Very bushy. More than 117 people lost their life, including the then DG of the night post. So, I don't know what is happening in this country, and even the state. It has been abandoned. We are crying loud. We want government to come to help us here. A lot of people whose families lost their life here are coming, and each time they come, they are always not happy with the state of things. It has been so dilapidated. If you enter that place, everywhere is pushy, and there's nothing you can actually be happy about.
What brought us to this a particular area? In fact, initially when we first heard about this issue of a plane that crash landed, I came right away from where I was living then to here. But thank God that when I got here, there are some things that motivated us. Some of the stakeholders that came to purchase land here simply because of light and some other things. But thank God, but eventually, when this case, this is supposed to be a tourism something for people to come here. Even some students. Then, when I first initially parking here, we see some students. They will come for tourism to come and say this is where plane crash landed and this. But ever since then, it's as if the federal government has not been doing anything concerning this place. So even you hardly see. Because I think this place is functioning well. Maybe look at how everywhere is bushy. It's something that this place is supposed to have been cleared, where design or something like that. Though we know that it's not people that are living there, but yet it's supposed to be a place whereby people can come into the environment. People can come into the environment, like it can bring a sort of development, like business, entrepreneur, all those kind of things.
If this thing will just be a benefit to the community, let the government, let them help this community to beautify this place. You understand? This place will be a kind of a way of generating revenue. Many of my colleagues have been coming to this place. They will say they want to see where the Bellevue air crash line. Please, let the government help us to beautify this place.
Lamenting the sorry state of the arcade, the Olu of Lisa Kingdom, Oba Oladele Odugbemi, described the arcade as an eyesore and embarrassment to the country and souls of the victims that perished in the plane crash. The monarch said it was regrettable that the arcade, which should serve as a national monument, has been neglected by the federal government and left to rot away, thereby calling for its resuscitation.
But unfortunately, since Baba Obasanjo left power, nothing has been done. It was neglected since then. When Baba Obasanjo left power, I think Baba Obasanjo left power 2007. So since then, the successful government at the federal level, and unfortunately at the state level, they didn't do anything about it. But we continue to press, because what concerns us most is that the memories of the very, very unfortunate victims that lost their beautiful lives in that incident should not be forgotten. What I want them to do is to come and rehabilitate the place and bring it back to the level government, the concept of government, federal government level now. Because it's owned by both federal and the Ogun State government. And that is it. So that concept, even from federal, because that particular parasita is still there. So the parasita should come from federal and work with the Ministry of Tourism now in Ogun State to making sure that this place is rehabilitated so that the memories of those very, very good people that we lost in that ugly incident will not be forgotten.
In a reaction, the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Ogun State said the government is open to partnerships towards the revival of the arcade.
The state doesn't have unlimited fund, and I believe that is a place that we can turn to tourist center. It's one of our tourist sites in Ogun State. We are looking forward to PPP, to partnering with private sector to put that place in a befitting form where people can come, they will learn what happened. If we go to outside the country, there are some of the tourist sites that do not even have the type of history that we have in Lisa here. So we are looking at partnering. We are open. Our door is open to people out there. Our door is open to private sectors or corporate organizations that are interested in tourism.
October 22, 2022 will make it exactly 17 years the ill-fated flight killed 117 persons here in Lisa village in Ifo, local government area of Ogun State. Behind me is a monument that is expected to serve as a form of tourism for residents, of course, people across the world. This monument has become a shadow of itself, and residents here are appealing to the federal government to come to their rescue. They are hopeful that the intervention of the federal government will bring this once quiet community back to life. From Lisa in Ogun State, John Felix reporting for Galactic Television News.